so wonderful to be back in the house of the Lord. I've been missing y'all. We first want to just thank God and Pastor for delivering a wonderful word today of knowledge. And we just give God the glory for that. I want the part A of this scripture, and I believe it's Proverbs 23 and 7. And part of that says, as so as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. I interpret that to not just mean the heart here, but the heart here. And today we want to present, we have some very beautiful testimonies of heart-healthy information. And today we want to apply that because if we think it right here, soon it will flow. And we want to have healthy hearts so we can live and serve and do the things that God has desired for us to do. And today we have our first presenter, none other than Sister Mary Johnson, Deaconess Mary Johnson. After that, I want Brother Billings to come and give his testimony, Minister Anthony, and then we have an esteemed guest with United Healthcare, Sister Rhonda Winbush, and then I will come back after that. So will you receive her at this time?
Good morning, church. Good morning. I'm here to tell you about a healthy heart. In 2002, December the 20th, I came home from work, and I was tired. My daughter came over from Houston to spend the Christmas holidays with me, and she said, well, Mom, let's just go to bed, and we'll get up tomorrow and hit the malls. And I said, okay, so I went to bed. James went to sleep. He goes to sleep right away anyway, so he went to sleep, and I was still awake, and my daughter was very tired because he came over there from work, and she was asleep. But I had this tired feeling. It's a different feeling, ladies. It's not, you know how you get tired, but this is a different tired that you just can't shake. You know, you might can get some rest and then you feel better. But I said, I'm going to get up and take an aspirin. You know, they always tell you to take a aspirin or something when you have a heart something or a stroke. So I got up and I took an aspirin, but I still didn't get any feel any better. So I woke James up and I told him, I said, I think you're going to have to take me to ER because I'm really not feeling that well. So I said, but I think I'll just let Gail sleep. I won't wake her up. But I did wake her to tell her that I was going to the hospital, and she said, oh, no, I'm going with you. So we all went to ER, and, of course, my blood pressure was high. I can't even remember what it was. But they got my blood pressure down, and the nurse said to me, if I were you, I would stay here tonight. And I said, oh, no, I'm going home. I think we all want to go home when we go to the hospital. We don't want to stay. And then she looked at my daughter. She said, if that was my mom, I would tell her to stay here tonight. So Gail said, Mom, stay. I'll stay with you. I said, okay, I'll stay. So I stayed. The next day, my doctor came by to check on me, Dr. Warren, which is my internist. And he said, well, let's just let you stay here and, and give you a test. Do you have a heart, doctor? I said, no, because I had not been there. I think I had been living here for about 9 months. I said, no, I don't have a heart, doctor. He said, well, my dad has Dr. Cole, so would you want to get him? And I said, yes. So Dr. Cole came to see me, and he said, well, we're going to test you. And so I said to him, he said, we're going to run this test and see if you have any blockages or anything. And I said, well, if I have one, just put the stent in, because I thought you could just take the stent, whatever, and, and open up your veins. I said, so don't let me come back out and then go back again. So he leaned over me after we got in the room, and he said, you're not going to be able to get the stent. You're going to have open heart surgery. You have 4 blockages, and we can't do anything but do open heart. Well, it was right at Christmas time. All the doctors had gone home for the holiday. And so he said, but my dad has a doctor, Dr. Kamakar, and we'll get him if after the holidays. So it has to be the 26th of December. So I said, well, if I'm going to die, I want to go home, and I'll come back on the 26th. I want to go spend Christmas. I said what Brother Torrance said about his holiday. I want to go home and spend Christmas with my children, with my husband and mom. So I did. I went home, got back to the hospital about 7 o'clock on the 26th. And they kind of had a problem about something. But finally, they did do surgery on me. And I like to, down this left leg, they cut me 4 to 5 times and took out little veins that they were going to put in my heart. And I'm going to do a little testimony, but this is not what I'm up here for. But I just want to tell you how good God is. Do you know the doctors took my heart out and put it on a table? And this is where they worked at on this table. I was on a machine for about 4 hours while they told, and I know God was the one that was doing this tolling and and all. I know it wasn't the doctors. And just to be able to think about how great God is, people. So I'm up here to tell you so you won't have to go through what I went through by taking care of your bodies and taking care of yourself. And we got a wonderful lady going to present something to us a little bit later, and we hope that you all will adhere to it, and God bless you.
Morning, church.
Good morning.
My name is Arthur Billings. I had heart problems. Mine came to me when I would do my flower beds in the spring of the year, every year. I'd get out there and dig around. Well, it come to be where I work about 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'd get extremely exhausted, tired. This was new to me. Never had that before. I could work all day like a tractor. But all of a sudden, I got to go sit down and take a break, and then I go back in a few more minutes. So I started getting more shortness of breath and fatigue, where your legs just wear out walking. Just walk maybe your normal distances, and you get tired, your legs wear out, and you sit down. And that began to happen. So I spoke to my doctor, my personal physician, and he recommended that I go and see Dr. Cole. And I went to see him, and he did the test, put me on the treadmill and hooked me up and did all the tests. And he said I had absolutely no blockages, but I had irregular heartbeat, and AFib, atrial fibrillation, is what he referred to it as. The upper chamber is beating out of rhythm with the lower chamber. They're not really cooperating properly, so you don't get the blood flow. So he elected to try a procedure himself, a cardioversion. Put you on the table, put you to sleep, put the electrodes on, give you the high voltage shock, stop the heart from beating, and then start it back again. Hopefully that it'll get itself in the right rhythm. So that it did, he said it did for a little bit, but it didn't work. So he decided, well, we'll try a second time, but you got to wait a couple of weeks until that burn that we just gave you kind of wear off, and we'll try it again. So I'll come back in a couple of weeks, and we did the same thing, put me to sleep and put the electrodes on and give me the shock and stop the heart and then restart it. And this is really a high voltage shock. It left a footprint, a burn mark in my chest. It's like if you left a smoothing iron on a fabric and picked it up and see the print there. Well, I could see the print of what the electrodes that they used on me for about a week afterwards. But the second time was just like the first. It didn't work. So then he said he was going to refer me to what he referred to as the electrician. That is another doctor that deals with the electrical parts of the heart. And so I went there, and he said he would give me an ablation, where they go inside the heart with a laser, and they carve out some of the tissue that's causing the heart to beat irregular to make it a little more limber. My heart was stiff. The muscles were stiff. And he referred to it as though a real muscle-bound person trying to do this and their muscle gets in the way, it won't make the whole trip. So by operating on that muscle a little bit, cutting some of it out, would allow that muscle to do its job and let that heart, compress the proper way. So he said, but that's only going to be about a 70%. I have another doctor I'm going to refer you to. He's going to do an outside. It's similar to an ablation, but they refer to it as a convergence. And it's where they use the same practice on the muscle with a laser. But in this guy, he cut me right here, about that big, right along there, and inside laparoscopically with a laser, and they burned that back of that heart and operated on those muscles. That was about a week in the hospital. Come back home a month later, turns into 2 months after that was healed. Then I go for the first doctor who's going to go inside, and there, down through my leg, my groin, inside the artery, laparoscopic, all the way up to inside my heart. And they worked 3 hours there, burning around the inside. And he said, the laser gets pretty hot, so we'll stop and let it cool for a half hour, then we'll burn some more and then let it cool, and we'll get it done. So it was about a 3-hour surgery to do the inside. After that, it was about maybe 2 or 3 month recovery. And I got back some of my strength, and that shortness of breath is gone. I'm not 100% like I was 3 years ago, but then I'm 3 years older too.
Good morning. I was given some advice by my cardiologist, some of what I consider to be the best advice from a medical standpoint. He told me, listen to your body. And so with that being said, back in May 2011, I experienced for the first time in my life chest pains. And it happened 4 times. The first 3 times I experienced those chest pains was during the times when I was running on a treadmill. And the pains were really, really sharp, similar to taking a shot. But they were quick, 3 to 4 seconds. And so I just basically denied it, no big deal. Well, the 4th time I experienced those chest pains was when I was at rest. I recall sitting up in the bed, in the bedroom with my wife, studying a Sunday school lesson because I was up to teach the next morning. Then had a sharp chest pain, 3 to 4 seconds. But I'd never experienced a chest pain at rest. And so I told my wife, look, I'm going to walk over to the other side of the house. I'll be back. I didn't want to tell her what I had just experienced because I didn't want to upset her. So I went to the other side and I prayed, and I got to thinking, I might need to tell my wife this, right, and get this dealt with. So make a long story short, when I told her, she said, let's go. And we got to the hospital. And to make a long story short, after the blood work, EKG and all that good stuff, come to find out that I had one artery 90% blocked. Cholesterol, bad eating habits, diet and exercise go together. You cannot have one without the other. They have to intertwine. So my cardiologist told me that had I continued to deny those chest pains, I would have had a massive heart attack. And so the following morning, we went through the procedure. I had a stent inserted in my artery back here, and it went through my femur, went up through here and worked it. It was like a 50-minute procedure. And that's when I first started taking medicine. I never taken medicine before in my life. But I thank God for that because medicine is a part of healing. And so on that note there, whatever your doctor prescribes for you to take it consistently because that's part of your healing. Luke was a physician, and the Bible tells us had everything Jesus did was recorded, there would not be enough books on the planet to contain all of his sayings. I want to think, this is my opinion, I want to think that there are other physicians on the planet during those times, in addition to Luke. So doctors are here for a reason. And so here's my advice to you guys. And I'm healthy now. I thank God for my wife, because as soon as I told her, she said, let's go. And sometimes we can allow, men especially, ego to get in the way. Ego can take you off the planet if you don't handle your business. And so my wife strongly encouraged me, let's go see the doctor. And I appreciate Elaine back there for forcing me to go and handle my business. And it's another reason why I'm here today, and I thank God for that. And I'm back 100 now, and I thank the Lord for that. But here's the deal. Word of advice. Take care of your health. Monitor your eating habits. There are 5,000 ways that you can start a fitness program. There are so many ways that you can do it. 101 walking. Check with your doctor, see what your health conditions are, and you go from there. And be consistent with it, because there's only one you. You can replace a car, but you cannot replace you. So my advice is to listen to your body, and since it's February Heart Month, do not play with chest pains like I did, and I thank God he spared me to live to see another day and years since. That's it.
Good morning. I just want to tell y'all I'm so excited to be with you all. The service was awesome. I mean, amazing. And I know I'm not here to talk about the service, but I am. I'm excited to be in the right place at the right time. So I thank you. I thank you all for allowing me to come out. I thank you, Judy. I thank you, Pastor, First Lady. Thank you all. Okay, so down to the business. I want to introduce myself. I'm Rhonda Winbush. I'm with United Healthcare. I'm the community outreach specialist for United Healthcare for the northern part of the state. So I cover probably 30 parishes. And in that process, I have two jobs. One job is to tell people about the Healthy Louisiana program, which is the Medicaid program. It's 5 plans in the state that covers the Medicaid program. So I'm getting off of that. And United Healthcare is one of them. The second thing that United does is that we have educational components. And with that, we have the opportunity to serve our communities and give them information that pertains to issues that affect our community. Now, with this program, and I want to start off with a scripture, because I'm in the house of the Lord, and I'm grateful to be in the house of the Lord. So I want to start off with Psalm 139:14, where we say, I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. And that is true. So I want us to just confess, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Amen. Okay, down to the next business. So when we started this program, it was called Heart Smart Sister. Mainly because it originated to focus on women of color, because the women of color was experiencing a high occurrence of heart disease. Okay. So we now know that heart disease is the #1 killer for women of color, higher than breast cancer, lung cancer, and all cancers combined. Okay, so we want to eliminate that. But as we were going through the program, we also know that men were experiencing it, so it's kind of selfish for us just to say, oh, just Heart Smart Sister for women. We're just going to just focus on women of color. That's because it's not a true statement. Heart disease is the #1 killer worldwide. Okay, so it's not just us. It's not just women. It's not just men. It's not just our race. It's all races. So we redeveloped it and called it Live Heart Smart to eliminate heart disease. And with the program, it's a 30-day program. It's not the end-all, know-all, because I heard so many great testimonies. He said my testimony for me. I mean, he said what my program is. Know your body. You know your body better than you know
than anybody will. But we want you to utilize doctors. You know, just getting up, walking, it makes the difference. And that's all this program is. We walk together. We interact with each other. We're giving to each other because we all have something to give. We all have a purpose, and that's to live a healthier life. So I came today because I do have a program that I want to leave with greater New Zion, that we can come together, we can walk, we can learn from each other, and do different things to make our lives that much better. So I want to see if you all are on board. Anybody on board? If you are, I want you to sign up, but then I want to do something else. I like to do fun facts. So as I'm doing fun facts, I want us to look at something that a lot of us don't even think of. Your heart works twice as hard at rest as your legs muscles do while running. So can you imagine that? Somebody that runs all the time and somebody that's just sitting, watching TV, your heart is working twice as harder. So that's a lot on your heart. So that means that we need to get up and move. We need to make sure that we're eating healthier things. Your heart pumps 5 quarts of blood every minute. Our heart is a muscle. So our heart is the size of a fist, and it constantly needs to move. It's pumping. So we just want to make sure that we're getting our hearts to move, our bodies moving. Because if our bodies are moving, then our heart is getting what it needs. It's getting that in and out of action. Okay, so what I am here for, like I said, I have a table, and I have information to get us started. It doesn't have to be that it's walking. I do this program with the Bossier Council on Aging. They decided to do it their way, and they did chair exercises, which was awesome. And when I first did the chair exercises with them, it was like, oh, this is nothing. This is nothing. I was so tired after that. I was like, wow, but they were moving, whether you were sitting down, you're moving your body. So that's the most important thing. So I want to thank you all for allowing me to come out. I'm not going to take up a lot of time because I'm going to be out in the foyer to give you more information, and just thank you. And you all will be seeing me more because I'm excited about this church. It's exciting. So I thank y'all. Thank you so much.
Before we go, we have one more insert. We want Brother Torrance to come and give his testimony, and we give him an opportunity as well.
How are y'all doing today? My name is Torrance Taylor, and most of you know me. And I'd just like to say that, of course, I've been listening and paying attention while going to cardiac rehab. And they say that know your numbers. That's the main thing. Your weight, your blood sugar, and your blood pressure. Most of us, I didn't know. I was diabetic for a long time. Apparently, I'm finding out that I've been diabetic since I was a kid, just didn't know. And and they said that diabetes is what led to all of my blockage. Of course, you know, my testimony started off, I lost a brother August 28th, and I went to the doctor and I told him I'm experiencing some chest discomfort. You know, I wouldn't have classified it as pain, not the pain that I've heard other people describe, a heart attack. And he said it's probably stress, anxiety, and I asked him, was it okay to travel to Jacksonville? He said, yeah, I'd come back. End up having to go back because my dad died a week later, September 4th. And I had to go bury my dad, and I came back, and I told him, I said, hey, this it's not subsiding. And he said, well, we'll refer you to a cardiologist, Dr. Cole. And yeah, I just thought it was amazing all these people who went to Dr. Cole. But anyway, the cardiologist called. They scheduled the appointment right at 2 months later. So I'm thinking, well, maybe there was some truth to what my doctor was saying. It's nothing, you know, because thinking that the cardiologist looked at all the results, my lab history, all of that. And because if it had, I was thinking they would have gotten me in sooner. Went, did stress tests, echocardiogram, all of that. They said that all of that was normal, but slightly abnormal because the echo, they couldn't really get under me to take the right picture, so they scheduled a heart cath about a month and a half later. And the doctor gets in and he says, whoa. And I'm like, whoa, what do you mean, whoa? And he said, Mr. Taylor, you've got a lot of blockage. We got to get you prepared for bypass surgery before the end of the week. And he came in and talked to me and my wife, and he said that looks like I've had 2 heart attacks, but it didn't do any damage. And I want to thank God for that. You know, and he scheduled us the appointment with the surgeon the next day. We went and talked to the surgeon, and, you know, me being stubborn, I like to have things in order. I wanted to spend the holiday at home with my family. So I scheduled the surgery not at the end of that week, but after the first of the month. And like I say, surgery was a success. Rehab is going good. I won't tell my pastor. I actually surprised myself. They put me at 2 miles an hour walking with an incline, and I walked 60 minutes. I've never been able to do that. And I just want to thank the Lord. Thank you.
So wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. We're healed by the name of Jesus. And I just thank God for everyone taking the time out to stay and listen. Let's guard our health. It's so wonderful. We also have a fitness person here, which is Sister Janelle Larkin, and she does do fitness, you know, one-on-one, individual, and group. So also, come and seek her out because she's wonderful. One of these days I'm going to come. Amen. She don't be too hard on me. But I just give God the glory and praise. I thank Sister Mary Johnson for having the fortitude to want to do this for us and put this together. So we're going to thank God for her. Now, I know time is well spent and we have Sunday school right after, but right outside the door where Sister Rhonda has the table set up, we actually want you to sign up for the walking for the 20 minutes a day. It only begins with one step. So let's do this together, family. Let's sign up for the heart-healthy time that we can have fellowshipping with one another, and you'll get a pedometer to measure your steps as you walk. Those will be provided once you sign up. Thanks again, and thank you, Pastor, for allowing us to do this. Yeah.